Welcome everybody to Airsoft Radio. It is the 6th of May, Bank Holiday Monday, so everything's running a little bit chaotic today. I'm your host Graham, and with me as always are my amazing co-hosts. We have Jim. Look at that arrow in the right direction.
Anytime we'll get it right tonight.
7 weeks in. So we have Jim there, the old school of Airsoft, and we have Cool Sun Tactiquin, aka Sarah.
Hello.
The new blood. and I'm Graham from Airsoft Nation, I suppose, and we have an exciting show this week as we're going to talk over the next hour or so with Jason Ferguson, aka Mr. Longbow BB. So close. Wrong way. Well, I swear I'll get there eventually. Jason, welcome to the show.
Guys. Hi, girls.
Hey, well, don't call me a girl.
I mean, you've been here before as such, but you're at my house, so it's a little bit of a different situation. But welcome to the show. It should be a fun one. Guys, if it is your first time tuning in, welcome to Airsoft Radio, where we spend an hour or so talking about all things Airsoft. Feel free to jump along in the comment section below throughout the stream. We'll be reading it as much as we can, but I will rest assured say it gets a bit out of hand. If it's not Monday and you're watching this on the replay, feel free to comment as well, because we do watch this throughout the week and we will respond. Don't forget you can like the stream and the page, whether it's on YouTube, Twitch or Facebook. And you can now finally find us on iTunes under the podcast or your preferred Android podcast platform, which I believe a few of you have said Spotify. I think, Sarah, you said Spotify?
Yes, yeah.
Do you use Spotify?
I did. Yes, I did download it actually to get the numbers.
There we go. Yes. Don't forget to 5-star us today. So anyway, welcome to the show. How is everybody? What have you all been up to?
Yeah, good. We went to family day at Duxford today, so I should go and see a load of old planes and helicopters and stuff and try and keep them busy. But apart from that, airsoft wise, unfortunately didn't play this weekend. I was hoping to. Perhaps go to Brawl War in Colchester. But no, I'm going to take that till next Sunday at the Fort in Kent. What is it? In Boreham?
Borstal.
No, Borstal, that's it.
Borstal, yeah.
I don't really know where I'm going to, really, but yeah. Yeah, and I go head up there. Really great site, though. Really good laugh. As you know, Graham.
Yeah, cracking little site. I really enjoyed my time there. I'll definitely go back there at some point in the near future. They're running Saturdays and Sundays now. So you can
that's right. Yeah, this is Sunday one.
Oh, very cool.
So, yeah.
Sarah, have you been playing recently?
I haven't actually. I've been taking a complete break from Airsoft. And I had fish and chips on the seafront in Essex at the weekend in the hailstones. So that was a true, proper British seafront experience.
British seafront, all right.
In between getting chased by the seagulls and the hailstones, it was good fun. Yeah.
So this must be Southend.
Oh no, it's Harwich.
Oh, Harwich.
Yeah.
You said attacked by seagulls, and I straight away think of Southend.
Oh, you get seagulls everywhere in the seafront, don't you? If you're in England, there's seagulls on the seafront.
That's all right. Jim, how you been?
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, just doing what I normally do at an airsoft site. I was down at Ace Combat again, doing the site shop down there. And funnily enough, I'll see you, Jason, at Reaper Ops, which is the site at Fort Borstal, next Sunday. So I'll be there as well.
I'm going to warn you, Jim. I'm going to tie on my site as hard as I can so you can't turn it round. I've seen. I know you know.
You've seen my airsoft shenanigans.
I've known you for a fair few years.
We have. I was trying to think the other day how long we've known each other for, but
over 10 years.
I was going to say it's too long, isn't it?
Yep. Well, I got my first airsoft gun was a Mauser L96 that I got from Platoon. And that's still going to this day.
Is that Maruzen or Mauser?
Maruzen.
Maruzen, yes.
Yeah. It's a bit like Trigger's Broom. It's got the same body, but it's got complete new internals and everything else. But it's still the same gun. Honestly.
Stock. Yeah, no trade-ins though, Jace. No trade-ins.
No.
Just out of interest, how much did you buy it for? How much did it cost?
I think it's about £100. Something like that. It's
wow.
Yeah, not much. But no, not bad actually. I remember that because again we bought it, and I think it was one of the first airsoft events I've done was at the fort, and it was a snipering day that Platoon had set up.
Oh shit! I forgot all about that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. I remember one part we had to have one guy at the top of the stairs because you had a couple of people acting as guards walking up and down. And you had to kind of get a load of people down the stairs across the courtyard and back up again without the guards noticing. And we was doing it, and I was, keeping an eye out. And Kel turned around, and so I just had to let a shot loose into his arm, and he yelped. Sorry, Kel.
Yeah, my older brother used to marshal with us.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, it was good times. I was thinking the other day, it was like you, me, Richie, and all those guys sort of.
Yeah.
Just, now we're all airsoft granddads.
I'm still not going to go back into a car with Richie after the way he drove back from that CQB site.
Well, less said about that event, the better.
Yeah. Power slide in the back of a 3 Series BM is not a lot of fun. If you're listening, you know what we're talking about.
And I think that's where we should leave it because there's bodies buried and he knows where they are. So,
yeah, good times,
yeah, 10 years. And then, weirdly enough, what was it, about a year ago? Everyone kept saying to me, "Oh, you need to talk to Jason from Longbow." And I was like, "Who the fuck is Jason from Longbow?" And they're like, "You've known him for years." And I'm like, "Oh shit, yeah, it's Jason."
I get that a lot. I really do get that a lot. I think it's for people trying to avoid me more than anything. It's a bad rash.
Oh, dear.
But,
no. So, so when did you start Longbow? Because we never caught up and had that conversation.
April 2017. So it's just been over 2 years now.
Nice.
Wow.
It's, I can remember sitting there because I used to work in the city, and I remember going to lunch and just kind of had this idea. And I can remember actually, I got on the phone to my dad because he's had his own company for like 20, 30 odd years himself. Put it past him. He said, "Well, look, you know what you're doing. If you want me to go in half with you, and I will, and we'll just see where it goes." And it just started from there and just went up. So, I mean, initially we was going to run it and then just wait 3 years to see how it goes, to see if I could do it full time. 9 months later, I'm handing in my job note, my notice at the job, and going, "Hi, I'm doing things I enjoy now." So yeah, it's just gone from there really. But it's it just grew a lot quicker than we ever thought it would be.
For anyone who's not aware, Jason, can you explain what you do? I know BB kind of gives it an idea in the title there, but
it's a bit wrong too. I mean, obviously we started off with heavyweight BBs, and it just kind of grew from there. So we started, I think we had 4 3s and 4 5s, and now we go from 0.25 to 0.48. We did 5s, but we don't do those anymore because they were the dark grey metallic ones. And it turns out they actually had trace metal in them because they're magnetic. And those sort of things, you shouldn't really be putting those in the forest. So we stopped those. But yeah, from there we went on because I actually had an SRS myself. And so decided to get in contact with Silverback. And we just got kind of started getting their stuff in at the right time. And it just kind of exploded from there, really. And so then obviously you get the ghillies as well from Sprint Custom. I was looking for ages for a decent ghillie. And I mean, I used to run a Jack Pike one, but the thing is, you used to look at a bramble and the thing falls apart. So it's they're not the bestest. But yeah, no, we just went from there, and then it's just kind of grown little bits here and there. New rifle platforms, like we've got the Modify, we've got the GBLS. I mean, there's so much coming up. It's kind of hard to keep on top of it all, to be honest. But it's good fun. especially when you've got an interest in it. I mean, Christ, who doesn't want to do a job like this? Jim, you should know. You know who he is.
Yeah, I don't want to do this as a job anymore. It's way too political and too much bitching and backstabbing.
Yeah, tell me about that. Yeah, I've had my fair share.
I saw earlier on today you had to put a post up qualifying that you weren't someone else's company.
Yeah, apparently someone has said that Longbow are BB King BBs rebranded. Come on, seriously, put some more effort into your lives before you release that sort of stuff. It's a bit, you really think they're BB Kings going? I've still got a sample of the very first BBs that we got, and measure them, put them in water. They don't change size. They're not swollen up. I can guarantee BB Kings don't last over a week. So
it's funny you should say that, because I had the last time I used BB King properly was probably going back 10 years ago when I had a Maruzen L96, and BB King was like the master at the time. Between them and the Tokyo Marui Grandmasters, which were in a little red cardboard box, they were 0.28s. But yeah, I mean, BB King have kind of very much gone a little bit downhill, or quite a lot downhill over the years.
The thing is, with the BB Kings, as soon as you open the bag, they're actually okay. It's just once you've opened that bag, it's like a sand timer that gets turned down, and you've only got a limited amount of time to use them before they just turn into golf balls.
So is that because they're bio-based BBs? Because that's the sort of thing I'd expect to happen with a bio BB rather than a.
There's a big I think it's a misconception with bios that you open a bag and you have to keep them sheltered and you have to treat them like an injured kitten. It's a case of a bio BB should only really degrade once it touches the nitrates in the soil. This isn't my opinion. This is what I'm told by several different manufacturers, that as soon as they touch the nitrates in the soil, that's when they start to take on all the bits and bobs, and they start to expand, and then they break down, and then they're gone. But all BBs degrade. It's only the bios degrade after a certain amount of time. And if they do achieve that, I mean, labs basically test them. They put them under UV stress testing lights and all this sort of business to accelerate the process, and that's how you get your bio-certification. But that's hideously expensive, and we're still waiting for our paperwork to come through now, and this has been about a year and a half.
Oh, man.
So BBs that aren't bio BBs, they can still swell?
They will still degrade, but it just takes a hell of a lot longer.
Oh, okay, right.
So that's why you'll still see. I mean, it depends. I mean, I know the NABV have said that they've tested some BBs and they've had them in like petri dishes with soil and everything else, and they've been there for like 3 years. But then again, it depends where you get the BBs from as to what they're made from. Because like I said, if you had like these 0.5s and they've got metallic powder in them, they're never going to disappear. They're going to be there for years and years and years.
Oh, some metal detecting club's going to love you.
Yeah, I might just go and spread them across the beach, just get some moving targets.
Oh, dear. So Longbow was truly born out of necessity then for you, where you just couldn't find what you were looking for? And
it was a combination of things, yeah. I mean, it was basically, I'm not going to name names, but our competitors, every time they got the BBs in, they would go so quickly because obviously they had almost the market shares themselves, and the prices, whenever they came back in stock, were just creeping up. Well, I say creeping up, they were shooting up at an alarming rate. And that's when it kind of got to the point, well, I need these. I'm not paying that. That's crazy. And obviously, they're going to go so quickly that you almost get backed into a corner. So that's when we started doing a bit of research, going out to several companies, reaching out to people that knew some other companies, because you can't just go into Google and type in BB company. Well, you can do, but, you might don't know what you get back. And then you just kind of, test them again, do all these other, making sure they don't swell up, making sure that they're going to do what they say they do. And then you pick the one you want, and then you go with that. I mean, it's like so many people have asked, where'd your BBs come from? Where'd your BB? Oh, they all come from BLS. No, they don't. But, if you put all your eggs in one basket, it ain't going to work. It's just not going to work. You have to have at least 3 manufacturers that produce a decent quality BB. And that's like our big restock that we've got coming in that's going through customs at the minute. That's actually been a huge logistical effort to try and get 3 sets of orders onto the same ship and then over to us. It's been an absolute mare, but we managed it, and that's why we've been out of stock for so long, because you put these things on an aeroplane and you'd have to double the price to make any sort of money on them. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's when the business side of Airsoft steps in, and you kind of have to realise that there's a cost to everything, and it's like, oh yeah, just get it from Hong Kong or get it from wherever, and it's like, yeah, you have a look at the freight on that, or you have a look at how much they're going to charge you at customs when you're big pallet load.
Oh, yeah, I mean, this is it. I mean, as soon as they come into customs, they love to stick a charge on there. So you've got all that's come through. Yeah, okay, you got your VAT, you got your import duty, you got your handling charges, you've got all your, using the freight forwarders accounts as well, so they can pay customs and all this sort of job. It just soon mounts up. I mean, this is why it's an eye-rolling moment when you get people coming to you, this engineer again, I've got an Airsoft channel and I do this and I do that. Please sponsor me and I'll get you all these likes and I'll get you this, that. And you think, please, just, the best way to go about that is to don't ask, wait to be asked.
So we should chat later, is that what you're saying? I'm #1 Airsoft sniper and I need to be sponsored by Longbow.
I am bestest sniper. I have YouTube channel with 3 followers. But yeah, no, I mean, the thing is, that's only a very small portion. It has been, and it still is, a huge learning curve. I mean, the thing is, the great thing about it is that I've met so many new different people that I now class as friends through it all, and it's just a good laugh. I mean, the thing is, you do get some people that are very finicky and very kind of, I can't really do this right naming names, to be honest. But you get some people that they'll say, oh, my BBs, they keep them curving to the left. They go 100 meters straight or whatever, or 100 yards straight, and then they curve to the left. And you're holding the rifle straight. Yeah. Is your scope on straight? And then they, yeah. It's not, is it? Might be. It's it's one of those, but it's the joy of retail as well. Because I'm not from a retail background, that's where the biggest curve's been. Whereas I suppose the old hats have seen it all, done it all. But it's it's good. I mean, the thing is, you don't get to go to some places. It's things like when we went up to Section 8 and we met Scout Doggy Team, and I've been watching these videos for years, and it's a bit being like a starstruck kid, really, like hello.
Did you go proper fanboy?
Might have. But that's good. It is really good. I mean, there's other people as well, like Brain Exploder and Swamp Sniper and everything else. When you start talking to these people, you just think, I've watched these videos and really kind of followed the channel a lot, and now I'm getting to speak to these people. So it's, and then you get other people like Graham,
Talking about Brain Exploder, did anyone see his recent video? He's now created his own little, I don't want to say aim cam, but a little camera, which is basically like the aim cam.
It's a bigger version of the aim cam, isn't it, basically? Like the actual camera itself.
Yeah.
I've seen the video. That's it good.
Yeah, a camera that comes down in front of your glasses. So that when you are looking down your red dots or your EOTechs, you can actually see the reticle through. Now, obviously, aim cam offer the glasses version. And given some questions of the audience in the last few days about aim cams, it hasn't particularly come back positive, especially, for the cost. A lot of people had issues with them, but it'd be interesting to see what Brain Exploder does with this, because a lot of people are talking about these ribbon cameras that you can, connect and relatively cheap to implement, which looks pretty cool. But yeah, I saw his video the other day and was, when you start...
he had a dirty grey head, didn't he?
Yeah.
It was quite long.
Yeah, so no, it was a really cool video. I like his stuff. I've done for a long time.
Yeah, no, he's a cool guy, Mark.
Yeah, and obviously he did a lot of work with the SRSs and breaking them down and trying different things out, hasn't he, over the years?
Yeah, no, exactly. Well, I mean, it's like before I even got my SRS, so this is way back. And I was watching his videos and watching Swamp Sniper videos, and you seeing them in, they're talking about like the dual screw hop and everything else, and then you see they bring out a fast hop, and you're like, oh yeah, go and get it. And I can remember going to get mine the first day, and yeah, no, it's it's one of those when you first open the box, and it's like that holy grail moment, you're like, oh. it's this day.
You need to get out more, Jason.
Not allowed. The court says no.
See, Graham and I have this, like, ever since we've known each other, we've had this running debate about snipers, and I think it's all boring as shit. And now I know 2 people that are involved in it, and it's just like, it's like they're ganging up on me. Oh no! And
You're
it's
the
great.
Next Sunday, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not playing. We're doing the site shop up there, which is it's shaped. I want to play it at some point, but it's but no.
When you walk out that shop, that's a game area, isn't it?
Yes, that's why I'm staying inside the shop.
BBs find their way around all sorts of places. It's amazing.
They do.
Just waiting at the door, ready for it. He's like, "Yep, that's 31.1 meters away."
I want to walk around with one of those, laser tape measures, and just keep pointing at him. Just make sure he's in range all the time. See how fast I can sprint inside minimum engagement. Fuck you.
I've got an A's Mark 23, all sorts.
To go out here, Sarah, have you ever used a sniper rifle?
I've never used a sniper rifle in my life. No, never.
Jim, have you ever used a sniper rifle?
Yeah, unfortunately. But the doctor tells me that the AIDS will clear up. So.
No, go on, Jim.
No, go on.
To be honest, it doesn't really interest me. Sitting at the back, sort of pinging people from such a distance with a great big heavy whacking great gun, it just doesn't. Crawling in the bushes, no, it's not for me. I like to get in the action. No.
Yeah, but it's not about that, is it? It's like you get a sniper rifle and then you automatically get your YouTube account, and then you
and then after you get a certain amount of followers, you can stick your name on everything. You can get your t-shirts and your patches and subscribe.
My merch is out.
Shit, we're about to break the internet.
I must admit, it probably is quite cool when you get someone and they don't even know where it's come from. But I just find it really boring. Like Jim, I find it really boring.
It's camping.
Camping
without the tents.
Yeah, it's
camping. Hey, some of us bring tents.
Twigs in your head, looking like running around with the. Oh.
There is a reason
I know
I recommend sniper rifles to beginners. In terms of, it's not the gameplay everyone imagines. They think they're going to be 150 meters away and have these straight flying shots hitting someone's head and wondering where it's from. When in actual fact, it's a lot. I'm not going to judge it in terms of it's a more difficult way of playing, but it is a difficult way to play because you don't have that much of an advantage. Of course, camouflage helps, but there's nothing to stop you taking your AEG and using camouflage the way they do.
Yeah,
but it's a huge gameplay difference. I think that's the biggest thing I would say over the years.
I think there's a lot of responsibility with it because obviously, generally, most of these rifles are doing 500 feet per second, and you've got to keep that minimum engagement. Otherwise, you could really hurt someone. And that's like the whole thing about all these people that love these headshot videos and etc. I'm sorry, but you go to have fun. You don't go to hurt people. What's the point? I mean, the thing is, that person you just shot and you just hurt, what happens next game day when you're relying on him to keep the people away from you because you've got a pistol to shoot everyone when they come within 30 meters? Is he going to be inclined to do that? I don't think so. I think he's going to probably just shoot you quicker than he is to walk out himself. It's very considered, I think.
But Jason, in terms of gameplay, you've had AEGs in the past before this. Would you agree that it's I wouldn't say it's again a more difficult, but a different way of looking at the game because you don't have that much of an advantage. Granted, some of the newer stuff in the last year has really kind of ramped up the way things are, but you could look 3-4 years ago, there wasn't a lot more range.
thing is, you look at some of the stock. I'm going to sound like a walking advert now, but you look at some of the stock rifles that come out, like the Modify XTC.
Yeah,
I said it. I brought it into it. 60 plus meters on a .3 from stock.
Yeah,
you know, you're getting like DMR ranges and what used to be old sniper ranges when I first started airsoft. That would be a sniper rifle. So you've now got that on a gun. You've got no minimum engagement distance. And you know, if you give a team of them versus one sniper, well, guess what? The sniper's going to go bye-bye.
Yeah, with 16 rounds a second, and you need to arc up a couple of centimeters to get the next 10 meters. You know.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the thing. I mean, it's like I've been in games before. People go, "It's not fair. They've got all these snipers and they're all gillied up and everything else." Yeah, but they can shoot one BB at a time. If you rush them, if you zigzag, then guess what? It's going to be even hard target to hit. You know, it's what did I say, Jim?
No, I just had images of me running around a field like a complete mong, just left to right, and it's like there's snipers everywhere.
See,
it's just the shit that hits my head. So
me running at an airsoft site and was like, "Yeah, I'm out. Where's my ghillie suit?"
With the ghillie suit, it's a huge adrenaline rush. If you're sitting there and then you've got the other team that are walking past you, in like feet away from you, and they have no idea that you're there, and you know, you can pull out your pistol or just sit there and wait till they bugger off and shoot them in the back when they can't see you.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'd almost say it's the stalking element of sniping in the fact that you are, you know, undergunned, and when you get up close like that, that is the most thrilling aspect of it. The long shots are great and fun, but again, some of that is, you know, more of a case of let's hope the wind drops for this shot. But when you do get up close in camouflage, I think camouflage has been some of the best moments I've had. That thrill of knowing that, you know, every step they're coming closer and closer and closer, and you're like, why can't you see me? And then you're then debating your head, do you pull the shot now? Do you wait, and is there someone else around them? You know, that's the area there, which is always...
It's when you wait for that golden moment, you take the shot, and you're certain it's going to hit, and then at the last minute it veers off and hits the tree next to them. And it's like that meerkat moment. Everyone goes, "Oh, over there," and they, that's it. You're screwed. But I think a lot of it as well comes down to, you know, even of my age group when you used to play like the original Call of Duties. And you had that one with the two ghillies. Is it ghillies in the mist or something? That level.
Oh yeah.
Crawl up, yeah. I mean that adrenaline rush there on a computer game. Imagine that in real life. That's where the pull is. That's the excitement. That's what it is for me anyway. It's that whole thing of getting through places where people don't know who you are, and then just raining down, you know, BBs on them. It's just good fun.
Which is why you could do it with an AEG, although you'd make noise and lose that element of surprise. Or, you know, a non-blowback pistol, the Mark 23. I mean, Brad from the Mark 23 group, one of the things he said was, if you're looking at interest in getting a sniper rifle, get the Mark 23 pistol and see if it works out for you, because it's a heck of a load cheaper of investment, and you still get that.
Have you seen SRU Precision have brought out a kit now? It's the SMP23, and basically it turns it into like a PDW sort of thing. It's very tiny little compact 3D printed kit. You put it in there, and you can genuinely run it round as if it is a sniper rifle. And it'll give you a really good idea of what it's like, because, you know, you're not going to be spamming the trigger on a Mark 23 because it's a double action trigger. So no, I think they're brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Who makes that? Sorry.
SRU Precision. I think they're a company based
I know.
In Far East somewhere. But we've got one coming in soon for me to test it.
So Sarah, what about if you don't have a sniper rifle? Have you tried a ghillie suit? Would you try concealment? Or you're probably one of the players. I mean, you do a lot of CQB. You're probably just running and gunning, right?
Well, yeah, pretty much. I'm not really. It's never really appealed to me, to be honest. I've looked at ghillie suits, and I quite like the ones that sort of go on your arms and then clip at the top and have just the hood.
Yeah.
And I think they look quite cool when there's actually nothing threaded through them, when they have just the crisscross. I think that looks quite nice for a look, but not to actually do the full sniper thing. So no, it's not something I've ever considered. I enjoy watching the videos of people who do it. It's very impressive, but it's not really anything that I could comment on because I'm just going to slag it off.
Makes the
I don't want to say too much because I feel that there's too many snipers and they do spoil a game because you end up stuck at a point and you can't see where it's coming from, and it kind of stops you're getting further towards the other team, and people say, oh, there's a sniper. Everyone panics because no one can see where he is. And there's too many. I just feel there's too many. And I feel that it is partly to do with the fact that all these YouTubers are snipers, and then everyone goes, oh, I think I could do that. And then you get all these kids running around with twigs stuck in their head, thinking they're freaking amazing, and they shoot you. They don't do the minimum engagement distance because they don't have a clue, and they freaking really hurt you, like seriously hurt you. So I just think it's getting a bit out of hand, to be honest. Sorry, I'm going on a rant now.
No, you're good. I wonder how many.
The problem is everyone thinks they can do it. Sorry.
Jim's going to agree with you right now. I can see him nodding. We've had this chat, and guys, if you are in the comments, feel free to join in here.
I'm going to upset everyone now.
How much people...
Welcome to my world.
So this week you can send your hate mail to Sarah at
again. It was the Speedsofters last week. Now it's the snipers.
I think there is a site in Essex. I think it's Splatoon. I think it's called. Can't remember. What they do is when you turn up on day, you have to go when you're kind of signing in. You have to tell me if you're using a sniper rifle because they limit the amount of snipers there are. But also the sniper has to have a spotter. So you have to have someone either volunteers or a mate that comes with you, and he's got an AEG. Because even if a sniper has got a secondary, you still have to have that spotter there to kind of that's it there. Yeah, you still have to have that spotter there to kind of deal with the close-up encounters. And also, it's more realistic, so it limits the amount of snipers. But the thing is, it's kind of, is it right to tell people what they can and can't play with on an airsoft day?
Yes. Yes, you can tell people. I'll just be blunt about it, Jason. Yes, you can tell people.
Right, let me rephrase that.
If it's your site, it's your rules.
Play with, not in Jim's world.
So I was at a site. I was at a Milsim game last year at some point, and on the Sunday, we were getting towards the end of the event. We were up before, and we were putting an attack on the task force fob, and like the guys came out of the fob with just sniper rifles. Literally, I kid you not, there was about 10 guys with bolt action snipers, and they were standing there knowing full well that we wouldn't be able to get very close. It was almost like volley fire that they were trying to do, and it just completely stalemated the game to the point of where the one I see of task force comes out into the middle, and I sort of meet him halfway, and he was just like, this is a load of bollocks, isn't it? And I was just like, yep, it's absolutely shit. I said, go tell those guys to shove the guns up their asses. We'll all get pistols out and we'll see who the men are and see who the boys are. Yeah. And they didn't want to do that because it was like, oh, no, I'll get shot. And it's just like, and those guys were, it wasn't like a hardcore Milsim, but it was, it was intense enough to the point of where it was just like this.
Jim, would you like me to build you a rifle? Is it envy?
No, no, it's not. I mean, I've picked around.
It's okay. We're talking. It's fine.
I've picked around with airsoft sniper rifles, and I've broken several of them. Probably because I've thrown them at people. Because it's just like
on Sunday, you can have a go of mine. There you go.
I've had a go of your Silverback. It's fine. I think the whole sniper issue.
Yeah. You still got my key?
I've been working your bolt, don't you worry.
It was
but no, my issue comes about with this whole sniper thing. Everyone thinks it's the gun. You've got to get a sniper rifle, and it's like there's no such thing. There's no such thing as like a sniper rifle. Sniper is the role. It's the same with like DMRs. It's called a designated marksman's rifle. The whole thing implies that there is a designated marksman to it, and it's the same with like the sniper part of it is the guy that's got a little bit of fieldcraft that can do all the camo and everything. And I think there are some really good guys that do it, and Graham and Jason know those guys. And I mean, there is one that I follow, Hutch. I like his stuff, and I've seen the way he plays, and I think he's very, very good. But again, just to the point of where it's like you just end up with too many of them. And I mean, there was another event that I was at where literally it was must have been about 8 guys that were all from the Hunterian and sniper ops community sort of thing, and they were just going out and they completely changed what happened with the game because they were going off doing their own thing, and it's sort of like. I think that's one of the things that sometimes snipers don't appreciate is that, or sniper players rather don't appreciate, is that when you're trying to play objective-based airsoft and you've got someone that just wants to sit there and camp on a road, stop people coming out of respawn just because they've got the range to do it.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not fun.
The game. Yeah. No, it's not. That is being a fun vampire, basically.
Yeah.
That's kind of. I mean, obviously, I know the video you're talking about. And I've seen it, and no, I agree. And there's things out there that are just ridiculous. But for me personally, the whole, as I said, the appeal was obviously when you gillied up and everything else. But you don't have to wear a ghillie. You can just go out with normal, you can go in a tracksuit and a sniper rifle. It doesn't matter. But it's the whole kind of every single BB you're pushing yourself. You're not just pulling the trigger. So every shot is placed, and when that shot hits, and they don't take it. And then you just think, all right, fine. So you take another one. And when they eventually go, but when you do take the shot and it hits and they take it, there's no better feeling than satisfaction. You just won't get that with an AG. You don't. I'm sorry, you don't. I play with AGs, I play with DMRs, I play with bolt action snipers. You don't.
See, I think there's more of an adrenaline rush going through a doorway or a window.
I agree.
Just unleashing hate on some fucking rental.
Yeah.
The thing is, I've got a couple of mates that have tried the sniper thing as well, and they all say the same thing. They're just not patient enough people for it. And I think, again, that's one of the core traits that any good player that wants to do that sort of role needs to have is patience and, you know, and the ability to sort of just go firm somewhere and wait for everyone to go past and wait for it all to go quiet.
Well, you say about patience, you're not having patience. Do you not remember, this is going back, I'm sorry everyone, but this is a bit of an thing.
This is an Alzheimer's moment.
this was me, Jim, Richie and John. We went to a tier 1 event and it was...
let's talk about that.
The 5-year order's gone. We can talk now. And... we had to basically, it's a real kind of, tier 1 was a company, I don't know if it's still around, but it's run by ex-Royal Marine Commandos, and it was basically a milsim. And there was a team of 4 of us, so it was me, Jim, Rishi, and John.
Oh, I think I know the story you're going to talk about.
Operation Snakebite, that was what it was called, I remember this.
Ah, right, yeah.
And basically they had this enemy base, if you like, and you had to scout it. And we were the only team that managed to lay up for a couple of hours. And to a lot of people, milsim's boring. And to be honest, my patience, I don't have it these days for it. But you and me, Jim, we laid there for 2 hours straight watching this FOB before that guy came along, didn't know we were there, unzipped his trousers, tried to take a pee on us. We shot him.
It was longer than that because I was in there with Richie for like hours before that because you two swapped out.
Yeah.
He wasn't coming to take a piss. He was coming to take a shit. Because he had a roll of toilet roll in his hand.
No.
And what happened was that he squatted down over me as I'm sitting there, and I've got my pistol, and I stuck it between his arse cheeks and said, "You don't really want to be doing that." At which point he did a forward roll with his trousers down around his ankles, tried to get his pistol out whilst holding a bog roll, and just got fucked up by all of us. You know? And then everybody chased us for miles.
Yeah, I remember that was the longest run of my life because you had to do. We did bounded back because they teach you things as well. They did like a training day, and they say that obviously bound back. So 2 turn around, shoot, the other 2 bound back. Then you swap and you keep on doing that. And it just felt like it was going on forever. It's as if these people just they really didn't like the fact that we've been that close. I think we must have been within about 50, 60 meters.
Yeah, I mean. Well, it was at one point when I think it was a couple of hours before that guy finally tried to shit on me. Actually fucking happened. I still wake up with nightmares. Just in another man's arsehole.
A lot of people pay for it.
Yeah. But they had a whole group of guys that came out before. And as when me and Rich were there, and we looked at each other and we were sort of like, proper puckered up about it because we thought they'd seen us. They were literally standing on top of us, about 12 guys. And this one guy, I thought he was staring at me, but where we were below ground level because we were hiding in.
That's right. It's in a ditch, basically. Yeah, it's like an irrigation.
Yeah, it was a ditch that they'd all been pissing in for 12 hours before. Yeah, no, it was actual other men's urine, which was fantastic. It was a nightmare. But they just stood there and then they walked off in the opposite direction, and we were just sort of like, what the fuck just happened? Why didn't they kill us all? But
I actually went in that ditch.
I just want to say that I think, when you're talking about patience there, I mean, there's a massive difference in sniping and that play style at a mil sim or battle sim versus a skirmish. At mil sim, it's kind of like you should expect people to go all in, to get completely immersed, to do the observation.
That's what they try and take away on you, though.
And all that.
I was going to say, funny footnote to the end of that story. There was another event that Rich and I did, and we were like an escape and evasion team, and we got back at the end of that 36-hour event to find the guy who was trying to pull on me, telling the story of that event from his point of view, where he said that he got all four of us, and it was just like, there's more bullshit coming out of your mouth than your ass. But
I can remember his name as well, but I won't say it.
We won't out him, prick. But no, it's I mean, going back to what you're saying about milsims is, again, that's where the way I look at it is that role is, for want of a better term, mission specific. When you get guys that have got that ability to go out and to to get one guy, and they're only going to fire maybe a handful of shots over the course of a 12 or 24-hour event, that's got to be really, really cool. I just don't have the patience to do it. I'd rather go in there with 8 of my mates and make him feel very uncomfortable.
Tear it up.
Yeah. Bangs and full auto.
And when we turned up, they said, right, who's brought a sniper rifle? And I was the only guy that put my hand up. And they went, oh, well done, you brought a sniper rifle to a CQV event. I'll tell you what, once I got behind and I snuck into a building that, was basically behind kind of where the other team were coming towards my team, I was having a whale of a time. Absolute whale of a time. It's awesome. Top floor of a building, built up, in Longbow, what it's like with the train tracks and all the other houses and everything else. Absolute brilliant. Couldn't recommend it more.
Well, again, again, that's that cool thing that you can do with a sniper rifle, DMR, whatever you want to call it, is that sort of Overwatch kind of thing to it, and that is fun. And I've done that once with an M14. And I was like, this does full auto, and I can do the job of these sniper guys. So why do I want a ghillie suit? I'm just trying to tease you now.
The thing is, I mean, so when I used to play with my sniper rifle, my brother-in-law used to have his AEG, and we'd both be gillied up. And the idea being is he's my Overwatch. If there's an issue, he's got me covered. And if things go horribly wrong, he's not afraid to open up with the AEG and gives us, some space to either move back or go in for the attack. I think there's almost two elements in there. There's the sniping from the shooter and the platform you're shooting, the bolt action or the DMR if you're going to go down that route. And then you've got the camouflage stuff. And there's no reason, and we see a lot of people that do camouflage with just pistols or just AEGs or gas blowbacks. It's not necessarily always snipers, but obviously we kind of associate one to the other. But I've seen some milsim teams where they're all sniped, all gillied up. The whole squad of 5 of them as gillies, and there's only one bolt action rifle there. The rest of it is just to get in on the objective, which I think is pretty.
Yeah, I mean, that is cool. I mean, with that recce roll.
They're out now as well. They're amazing. They really have improved. I mean, it's, as I say, when I first started, you get like a Jack Pyatt suit, and it wasn't until like the Hunterian guys and that they kind of then started modifying their suits, and then kind of their information came out to the public one way or another, and it was kind of, things started happening from there. But then you've also got the Sprinter custom stuff. You've got other brands as well. And, the idea in my eyes, for me, and this might annoy some people that have spent years crafting their suits, etc., is that why not give that person the ability to get something out of the bag, stick it on, and go and blend in? mean, yeah, you can add to it, but it's why? I don't really see why it should be such elitist, because the thing is, you've got to get people in. Don't get me wrong, even if you turn to a sniper, an airsoft site these days, yeah, there's probably a lot more snipers now, but the AEGs still outweigh them, probably 2, 3, 4 to 1.
So, do we think at skirmishing there should be a limit as to how many sniper rifles there are on site?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think
This is when Jim goes, CQB none.
I think there should be, you need to be educated. And I think that at the start, if someone brings a sniper rifle, they go onto a range and they're asked, where's the minimum engagement distance? And if they get it wrong, then you better bring it back up, or you better go and rent a gun. Because if you don't know your minimum engagement...
Controversially, should you have to be over 18 to use it?
Yes.
I don't know you are.
I'm going to get cards.
Leave it at home. Come and get stuck in.
Well, obviously, the fact is, if you're under 18, that knowledge of, one, the safety aspects, two, the judging of distances. I'm not saying that kids are any less than adults on some people judging distances. At the end of the day, most of these airsoft sites are full of men, and we ain't good with distances. So,
what are you trying to say? I can measure everything in inches.
But that's the point. I mean, do you say it's got to be over 18? I have a site, and I won't mention a site, where there was a father and his son who both had sniper rifles, both with the Bolt HPA system, and the child was known to be taking shots closer than 30 meters. Now, his dad was also the guardian. I presume it was his dad, but his guardian there would always keep an eye on it. But there were plenty of instances where the site owners had to say, look, you need to watch yourself, because that stuff runs, dead on point, if not slightly over at times if you're not watching it. And it was some of those concerns. And at that time, the discussion was on the site, does that mean we should only have it for over 18s? It's a controversial one, because I know there are plenty of snipers under 18 who do an amazing job and, play safely and all of that stuff.
I think age is kind of, in a way, it doesn't really come into a factor. I think, as I say, it's more the hard nails facts of, right, come here, how far is that? Do you think that's point to a tree, point to something that's not always been marked, so that it's always a changing kind of range. So, right, tell me where you think 30 meters is. Give them a laser pointer, whatever. They point out where 30 meters is, you laser range it. If they're like 28 meters, it's probably, this is where you get into a grey area. Is there going to be a little bit of leeway, or is it going to be a straight no? But at the end of the day, it's people's safety. And
but when you're in the thick of a game, are you really thinking about, am I far away enough? Because all you're thinking about is hitting somebody. So are you really thinking, am I far away enough?
Yeah.
Are they thinking about that?
I can
you personally probably are, but is everybody?
That's exactly what I was going to say. Is I was about to phrase that. What I was thinking, Sarah, is that yes, you have to know the range, and when you're about to engage at any time, you need to know the range and be confident that you're beyond 30 meters. And that is where the younger players may not be able to control that emotion and the kind of anticipation of.
Is that, like with mountain bikes, you can only have up to, well, about mountain bikes, Graham. You can only have a certain power with a certain thing. So you can have it in stages. So you say, right, okay, then. If you're under 18, say you're a 16-year-old, well, your sniper can now do 350.
One joule.
1 joule, 350, whatever, just to show that you can use it. And once you've proved yourself, then you can step up. Same thing with, like a motorbike license. You've got to prove yourself before you can go up to the big boys' bikes.
Unless you're over 25, then just buy what you want.
I don't ride a bike. I'm not suicidal.
Yeah, when you're over 25, you can just buy what you like. So then it kind of then goes back to the whole, is the age an issue then versus the attitude? I mean, I think there are plenty of under 18s that I know that I would trust with a bolt action and use it for fun. There is an interesting comment from Gary in the comment section there saying he sold his VSR 10 at the weekend and the lad couldn't even pull the bolt, and that is also one of the issues with
that's a very safe rifle.
with some spring rifles is you won't have that issue, but with the HPA now, anyone could pull. It doesn't matter how old or young or weak you are. So yeah, that was that used to always be a little point, didn't it?
Like with the distance, it's almost it's on you, to be honest, isn't it? But also you've got things with AGs with quick change springs and adjustable FPSs, like the XTC, for example. You can adjust that FPS on the go. So, there's an honesty thing there as well that you can, personally with the XTCs we sell, we check the FPSs over five shots, and then we actually put a tamper evident sticker over the bolt where if you change that, it's going to break the sticker. So, you're basically doing what you can, but you're basically saying that, okay, if you change that FPS, then you're going to invalidate your warranty. So there's nothing you can do to stop people kind of do it. I mean, you see people, you hear about people taking out different springs into game. They change them in game with their SRSs, with the Systemas, when they used to, slide out the bolt and put in a new one.
Yep.
It's all these quick change springs and everything else to make things easy. These are the sort of things that, it's going to be, they're always going to be the challenges I think we're going to find in Airsoft.
So,
it's a while.
Really?
So,
Matt Beddoes.
It's not quite the same subject, but it's in the same vein about, whether or not over 18s this or over 18s that, is pyro. At the end of the day, you're mucking about with fireworks and you have to be over 18 to buy them. And I think that's pretty common on every site. I can't think of a site that I've been to where they sell pyro to anyone under the age of 18 because there's a legal requirement to it. But there's certainly under 18s using it on certain sites.
Yeah, I'm actually banned from a site for giving a pyro to an under 18 who then accidentally caught himself on fire, and that therefore reassured to myself never trust an under 18 with a pyro.
I've seen an under 18 with a pyro pull it. It was actually a flashbang, whatever it was. He thought it was a smoke, so he held on to it longer than he should have.
Oh no!
And his glove was in tatters in his hands. And you can go and do that once, aren't you? But he wasn't so. He thought he was given a smoke. I think it was his dad that bought one and gave it to him. And obviously his dad didn't feel too great after that either, because I don't know if they had to go to hospital or what. But yeah, they're dangerous. You've got to be careful.
So he certainly wasn't high-fiving his son afterwards.
I will give a big shout out here to John Jennings. It was his first time playing. I think he was 17. He was mature, not an issue, but it was his first time playing, and I wanted to give him the full experience. So he had his tech vest, which he borrowed off of a friend, and he had his rifle, and I gave him a smoke grenade to throw out, and he put it in his vest. And when we were firing under contact, he ran, hit the wall, and as he turned around, he striped on his vest.
Oh, no.
The thing is, he also didn't know how to get a vest off. So that you've put the vest on for him, you've adjusted all the straps so it's not moving anywhere. We immediately start yelling at him, take the vest off, and he's trying to throw it over the top of his head. Now this, I wouldn't say he's 6'2", so you're watching this lanky guy just shaking his arms trying to get this vest, which the smoke is now burning through the vest. Good times. Won't give an under 18 smoke. We did promptly get booted off the site. Fair enough. Go in to explain to his friend's dad why we were home early, why there was a hole in his vest, and why we won't be going back to that site again.
Graham Hoffman, Airsoft hooligan.
Pyromaniac. It explains why you speak big grenades.
A friend of mine older than me. He was at Sennybridge, walking back to the region, and some guy turned around to him, "Oh mate, you're on fire." And he went, "Yeah, I know," thinking it's a compliment. He said, "No, you're actually on fire." He had a pyro, smoke or something in his pouch and his leg pocket and his trousers that had gone off. He didn't realise. Anyway, he ends up there in the hospital with skin graft and everything else.
Oh man! Well, did anyone see Airsoft Cam Man recently? I don't know what site it was. I feel like it was a Longmoor or something like that. He was running out, and there was a player that ran across the road.
Yeah.
As the player got halfway across the road, he just went bang, and he obviously put his pyro in the dump pouch and it had striked in his dump pouch while he was running and just went off. And the guy just turns around and looks around like, what happened? Because he hasn't worked out it's his own pyro going off in his back pocket.
Does he count as a suicide bomber in that game? Is that not taking it too far?
The other one is this always mentioned off the guys at Alpha 55 site in Wales. They went to, I want to say it was Sennybridge, and they were all stacked up outside of a building ready to go in. One of the opposition was upstairs. He opened the window and just dropped a pyro out, and it went in the guy's dump pouch. All of the guys around the guy saw it and ran away, and he stood there not knowing what to do as everyone laughed as it blew a hole in the dump pouch.
I feel it was like a scene in RoboCop where the guy goes in front of bed 209 and he starts counting down. Yeah, exactly.
But it's just a funny story. Out of all the places for it to go, went in the guy's dump pouch, and everyone just disappeared and scarted off as they saw it go into the pouch, and were trying to yell to him what was going on, but was not going to hang around for it to go off.
So, with all those stories that we just told, do we not think that over 18s only should be the way Airsoft should go?
These are 20, 30-year-olds. Pyro.
Exactly. Could you imagine if that happened to a kid, though? The outrage that would happen over it.
Pyro is over 18, and I think pyro should only be used by over 18s.
Yeah, but what if you accidentally threw a Mark 5 into an under 18s dump pouch?
Accidentally?
So euphemism going on.
Because you're going to be doing that on purpose now, aren't you?
If you see me throw pyro, I'm more dangerous than my own team with it.
We're going to be in the safe zone and see Jim putting quivers on the actual Mark 5s, aren't we?
Well, without kicking up too much of a stint on this, because I don't want to be the kill sport, but I mean, let's be fair. If you read any of these smoke grenades and pyro grenades, it says drop them on the floor where you stand. It doesn't say throw it at somebody. So for any incident like that, I mean, the smoke grenades, I can grab one now. It literally says strike it, immediately drop where you are and walk back 2 meters. Give me a sec. I'm going to get mine.
It also says on Airsoft, when you read through the gun, do not fire at people.
But yeah, I was going to say exactly the same thing. Every Airsoft gun has got that same thing in the instruction manual that clearly only a few of us have ever read. But I just think, everyone keeps banging on we've got to get kids into the sport, and it's like, no, we don't. You don't see people going, we need to get kids into drinking, and that's another thing that should be like over 18, or we should get more kids into heroin. The numbers are down.
Spend a day in your mind, Jim. I tell you, that'd be mind blowing.
It's an education even to me.
I don't have the cap, and unfortunately, the instructions come with the cap on that one, so I can't do it on the flashbang.
More unsafe pyro practices from Graham, the demolition man.
Okay. So this one says. This one does say immediately throw, but a lot of the ones, I think maybe it's the pyros that say on here, because I've read them before.
Read the last line of that instruction manual.
Yeah, I know. Don't be a dick.
Exactly.
Don't be a dick about smoke grenades. Thank you. Don't be a dick.
So it doesn't say hold it for a good 3 minutes while you have all the photos for your Instagram.
Yeah.
So
I'm still waiting for a
council of Airsoft.
Fuck this shit, I'm out.
That's the new council.
I'ma just grab myself and leave. Excuse me, please.
Yeah, that's basically what would happen if we started looking at the health and safety aspects of some of this stuff. Let's be fair.
Which is one thing to let an adult do it, but it's another thing to let a child, even if it is like, oh, well, he's 17 and a half or whatever. It's, it's still that, legal limit to anything. You wouldn't go, oh, he's 17 and a half, let him have a go at driving. It'd be fine.
Oh, I'll tell you, put Gary's message out. I'm awful. I'm terrible with any pyro. At Upwards, the one near Cambridge, the XRS base is about to go.
Urban Assault.
That's the one,
Peterborough.
And
Great site shit marshals.
Hate mail that way.
Sucker fucking. That was the worst site I've played at in ages. There was one decent marshal there. The rest were all just arrogant ball bags.
Yeah.
He was really excited to go as well.
Well, anyway, moving on.
Sorry, continue.
I did pyro. We're supposed to throw it up in this window. You know how big the windows are there? They're massive, aren't they? They're like the size
huge.
of a missed. Bounced off the wall straight back down to the feet. And then went over around me. Shouldn't be trusted. I can't use pyro. I'm just useless at it. So I don't. That's why I snipe people from distance. Like Jim.
I'll use one of these.
Yeah, but we're on the same team, dude.
Wait till that HDI comes out, mate. It'll be even longer distances.
Look at that. That was a really good segue. HTI. Let's talk about that. We have a pro here.
Yeah,
so, HTI. Let's talk about it. Jason, do you want to talk about what the HTI is while I grab an image of it?
It's a dirty great 50 cal rifle in the bullpup configuration that is going to be a challenge with UK limits on duals, I think. It's not impossible, but I think it's going to be, it's massive. It's going to be one of those guns, a Marmite gun. The SRS, if you like bullpups, you're going to get one. If you don't, you're not. With HTI, it don't matter what you like or what you don't like. It's a case of, I really want it, I'm going to get it, because they're not cheap. The thing is, we don't kind of make up the price on these. We have to pay for them to come over. So when we've got the price, a lot of people are moaning, oh my God, you're, going to go and holiday in the Bahamas or something when you've sold 3 of these. I'm really not. But they're just, the thing is, it's going to be, if you want it, you're going to get it. If you're an R-in, you're probably not. It's going to be, I think the base weight without a scope on is about 6 kilos. It's going to be a long rifle. As you can see, that comes with that's the Elite Iron suppressor on into that as well, so that makes it even longer.
HDI is the top rifle there, so as you were saying, it is the 50 caliber. So it's like the SRS A1, the standard Silverback, which most people would have seen, but this is essentially the 50 caliber equivalent. It was talked about, more than a year ago to come out with 6 and 8 mil BBs. Now the 8 mil has been scrapped for now, but hence
they're not confirming the 8 mil yet.
Yeah, and they really wanted to obviously it's a licensed product and they really wanted to go all out on it, and that's why they thought maybe we can do 8 mil just to kind of show, look, it is the 50 cal. It is heavy. It's humongous. It's, for you Barrett lovers, anyone who likes the 50 cal Barretts, this is going to be the next big thing, I think, for those players.
The thing is, people are saying, it's going to be, you can't speculate what it is and isn't going to be like, because there's not one in the country yet. No one, I haven't fired one yet. I can't speak for everyone else, but I haven't fired one yet. Yes, we're selling them, and I'm sure they're going to be, Silverback are knowing what they're doing with it, but it's going to be, I think it's going to be, if you get it right, and you get it within UK pound limits, I think that thing, it was 730 million in a barrel. You might think that's too long, it's going to be over volumed, but you've got 72 cc's of air behind it. So, and then, this is all got to be carefully measured to make sure that you're not going to be over the 2.32. Well, that's 2.5. At most sites who measure joules is going to be 2.32 for insurance.
All right, nerd. Jesus.
Don't be gel, be ring. Right?
Well, you said you can't predict what's going to happen with these. One of those will never be in my house. I don't think I've got anywhere big enough to put it.
When you're asleep with me next to it, and the man whose name begins with B, he's going to be getting his turd revenge over you.
Oh no, that's never going to happen.
Out the box, do we know much about the internals? Is this something that we're going to see, upgrade kits for, or do we think that this is as it is stock, or is it too early to say?
there's going to be upgrade kits for it. There always is. I mean, you look at how many aftermarket parts there are for the SRS. I'm not saying this is going to be as big a seller as the SRS because it's bigger, it's heavier, it's more expensive. But of course, there's going to be bits come out because people are still buying them. We're still getting pre-orders coming through for these. It's actually surprising how many people are putting a pre-order in. I didn't think it would be as popular as it is already. So,
what is the estimated retail?
Retail's $830.
Okay.
I think. Look a bit wrong if I don't know that. Let's double check.
But with Silverback, I mean, of all their products, they are a premium brand, a high polished quality. Well, not unjustifiably, but it is licensed product. It's high quality. It's the licensing as well that drives the cost up. You look at something like Lego, for example. You buy a Lego fire truck, it's going to be about 10 quid. You buy a Lego fire truck that's got Star Wars on the box, it's going to be about 50 quid. Because the licensing, it just pushes up the prices because the people that own the license want their money. Yeah.
I should know this, but it is Bank Holiday Monday, so whatever. 8:30, I was right, there you go. So yeah, no, it's also, you've got with I think a lot of the frustration that people have with Silverback is the times, when they, because we just passed on the timelines that we're given, and inevitably they get pushed back because they don't want to release just a bunch of crap that's going to destroy the reputation they've built. So it's a question of, well, okay, you're going to be more patient, but you're going to get the rifle that's going to work, it's going to be quality, it's going to last and everything else. Or they rush it through, it's a load of crap, you don't want to use it, you're going to send it back because you're not happy with it. So it's kind of, I would rather wait and get the decent stuff through, which is why, again, like the MDR, that's going to be probably later than everyone's saying because, you've got to make sure that all the parts are made properly and that they've got the production line set up. But that is going to be a beast as well. I'm sure it is. I mean, I've held the prototype and it's amazing.
Yeah, I held the one at IWA. We'll go back to the image. I held the one at IWA, and if you are watching the live stream now, it is the AEG on the bottom right there. So it is a bullpup design AEG. They've done a lot of work on that, especially from the first year I saw it and now the second year I saw it. A lot of work has got into that. The gearbox is absolutely insane. And there's a lot of scope going forward on it.
I believe it's running on 3 MOSFETs as well.
Wowee. But again, it's an unknown. We've not, one Silverback. Silverback haven't done AEGs. So this will be their AEG.
No, they've done the PP19.
Oh, they did do the PP19.
Is it the Bison, I think it was called, something like that?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Yeah, they did that one. That was one of their first entries into the market, I think. But yeah, then you've also got in the middle there, linking nicely, is the special edition, limited edition lightweight.
Yes. So this is 100 worldwide.
Yep.
Super. It's basically like carbon fiber. I'm going to zoom in on that one. So this is a kind of a carbon design, incredibly lightweight compared to if you've ever held an SRS.
Yeah, it's about a kilo lighter than a 16-inch SRS. I mean, there's so many new features on it. I mean, you've got like that carbon outer barrel. That's actually an integrated suppressor. That's not just an outer barrel. I think you then got a twisted metal outer barrel behind that. Aluminium mags comes in a hard case. The only thing I don't understand is that they put, obviously each one's numbered, but that's under the cheek rest, so you can't see it.
You want to share that off? Do you? With 100 wide, do you imagine seeing anyone on site with them?
I know people that I've sold our allocation to, they have every intention of taking them out on site.
Man, there's a lot of holes in there. A lot of dirt to go into a sniper rifle.
But
it doesn't actually look like a sniper rifle or a rifle that a sniper would use. It looks more like an AEG to me.
So there was the middle one, yeah?
Yeah, the middle one.
Yeah, so that is basically what the SRS A1 looks like. But what they decided to do make a limited edition one, make it as light as possible, refined a lot of the bodywork. I believe there's more machine waste creating that top brow than's actually left on the product by the amount they've shaved off of it.
Well, it's not just what you can see in that picture. I mean, where the body panels attached to because that whole receiver that goes all the way back to basically where the butt pad starts. So all that under the body panels, that's all been trimmed away and everything else. There's a lot of work gone into that you can't see in that picture. It's a lot of saving. So it's about just over 2 kilograms, which is nothing.
Yeah. Well, yeah, having held the HGI and then held that immediately after, it was night and day difference, let's just say. And as
when
you say,
at the IWA, though, did you go to the Desert Tech stall and pick up the real steel HGI?
No.
That's 9 kilos.
I would say there wasn't a lot in difference, someone was saying, because I had the barrel suppressor on the end there. So, as you say, there is 100 of them worldwide. I'm right in saying that you'd imagine they've sold out worldwide already at this point?
Yeah, I'd imagine so. I mean, we're running a list of people that are basically waiting to see if someone else cancels their order. Hasn't happened, I'm afraid. These things are, once people have got them, they're holding on to them. I mean, the thing is, it's one of those things, it depends if you're buying it as a collector to possibly, just hold on or to sell at a later date, like a lot of the Tokyo Marui biohazard pistols. I know a lot of people collect those and they do wait for them to go up in value, then they sell them on. So I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of people could sell these on, but I wouldn't even like to think what sort of prices they're going to reach in, say, like a year's time or 2 years' time, because Silverback as well, they got the popular Airsoft award for the best sniper rifle, or most popular sniper rifle, whatever it was. So these things are just going to go up and up in kind of popularity, and then that kind of goes up in how much people want to get. There you go.
There you go. Night popular Airsoft awards, Silverback SRSA 1, and that is the first time Tokyo Marui have been taken off the title for a sniper rifle. So great work there. And I think they've done a lot of work over the last couple of years, and there's a reason why this platform is becoming more and more of a dominant one on the fields.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, the thing is, when they first started coming out, how many did you see at your local airsoft site? Not many, if any at all. Now you're almost guaranteed to see 2 or 3 at each airsoft site, especially where Jim turns up, because I'll get people to go there.
I've played at sites where people turn up with SRSs and then they go, I spent all this money on the sniper rifle and there's not 30 meters on this site. Oh, and then
that was me at Call Under Fire. The first time I got Call Under Fire, I literally had my sniper rifle and I had my AK literally on my back, and I literally got to the safe zone at the start game, and I was just talking to friends. That's where the opposition come from. We went there, and I looked. I was like, "What? They're starting there?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "I guess I'll put this away." He's literally like 30, 40 meters away. It's like, well, there's no point in shooting each other with that. It's a bit overkill.
That's why it's basically in an orchard, isn't it? They've got a lot of low trees. Yeah, you come out of there with a stoop because you're like this all day.
But that's a great site. But yeah, it's not really. There are some areas where you can use a sniper rifle, but the game around the town wasn't really worthwhile. So it was like, right, just switch to the AEG. You have just as much fun, if not more.
So I mean, one of the things I do see with sniper rifles, and at the moment it seems like SRSs, but it used to be VSR 10s, and pick a rifle you can substitute for it, but. I was just curious, Jason, to know what your experience with this is, where you get someone that's bought one and they're the 3rd or 4th owner because someone spent all that money. It's not for them. They sell it on to the next guy who sells it on to the next guy, and then they come to you for like upgrades and what have you. They're sort of chasing something that might not exist, sort of thing. In terms of
this is it. I mean, there's an expectation, and you've got to be careful when it comes to basically the hype train and anything, because you'll get some people expecting a rifle out of the box. It's going to be shooting 95 meters with pinpoint accuracy. BB's going to land on the dot in the scope every time. Never going to happen. It's a smooth bore air powered musket. It's just there's variables in there that you just can't always account for. No, I always, even though we do upgrade kits and we've got the edgy kit, which is a much debated kit, people saying it's not worth the money, etc. Well, I wouldn't sell if it wasn't worth the money. So, and I've tested everything that we sell. I've tested first to make sure it's worth it. Otherwise, I just won't touch it. It's no point. Now, what I do test people is anyone coming to me that wants information or advice on a rifle is take it stock. But also look at things like you don't have to have all the bells and whistles. You can go with the sport line. A lot of people are turned off because it's got the name sport line in the title. But it's a standard SRS, or it means it doesn't come with a rear monopod. It's got one ridge rail that's plastic that you probably would never use anyway because the normal ones come with 3. You've got a ball barrel spacers. Some people say, oh, that affects a shot. It doesn't. To be honest, in the real world, it doesn't. And it's 130 quid cheaper than the 16-inch. I mean, it's 130 quid. It's a lot of money. But take it stock. The only thing I would advise is the fast top because it's a lot easier to adjust your hop setting. But it is a bit tricky to put together because the only thing with it is there's no definite locking points. It kind of rotates amongst itself and you've got to get it straight. So you've got to get it on the barrel, look down it, make sure that your nub's coming down straight. Otherwise you're going to get left or right hooks, or it's going to block, or it's going to do all sorts of weird and wonderful stuff. But again, a lot of people get really good results with the standard hop. So I'd always recommend just take it out, play it a few games first, see what it's like. And a lot of people, they buy these things and then, even stock, they don't like them because sniping is not for them. They just don't like the rifle. They don't like the ballpark because it's also, when you're cocking it, you bring yourself right back up here. You're not the normal rifle where it's just in front of you there. So that whole play style, it does kind of take a little bit of getting used to, especially if you're prone. It's really hard to cock compared to like a VSR. So my recommendation is, these things are good, but you have to manage your expectations of what it can and can't do. It's not going to make you a cup of tea in the morning and call you beautiful. It's,
I'm not buying one then. I'm done.
I could answer that by one. But it's, again, the same with the HTI. People are going to think it's going to be an almighty massive power up, and they think, oh, it's great, my sight doesn't measure by joules. But you have a responsibility to the people you're shooting at that if you think, yeah, great, it's doing 500 FPS and you're using a 0.48, and then when you actually measure it, it's doing like 3.5 joules. You're not there to hurt people, but there to have fun. It's a game at the end of the day, for crying out loud. It's not played life or death. And like you see these videos of people getting BBs dug out of their skull and stuff like this, you just think that's just wrong. It's just...
Every player, I'm starting to get to this point. I think every player should have one of these. If you're going to start tweaking and messing around with your sniper rifle or a HPA system where you're more prone to dual creep, get something like that, a chronograph. The Ace Tech ones are my preference, so that you can just check that. The last thing you want to do is get onto a site and have something that's dual creeping and they decide to do duals. Or the fact is you don't want to hurt someone or cause them, damage.
Yeah, I mean, this is it. I mean, in the day, what it takes is it could flare up into anything because you could shoot someone, that could be someone's kid, and the dad could be completely, incensed by this, and it's going to go south very quick.
It's like National Airsoft Festival. I was a bystander. I just heard the screaming of a kid crying and my dad going, "I'm going to kill him. Where is he?" And I'm like, "You're looking for an airsofter in camouflage with 3,000 other airsofters. Good luck."
So if you was bystander, does that mean that no one was set on fire that day?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I was camping in a bush somewhere and just listening to it all going off around me.
Not selling pyro to children.
Damn it, busted.
So would you say that for, like, if I was going to completely have a lobotomy and change my life to go and become an airsoft sniper tomorrow, that a well MBO one is a good place to start?
No, GoPro. GoPro's the first
GoPro. Do they shoot 100 meters, GoPro?
No, it's 100 meters. It's bestest gun ever.
Bestest canoe.
Is that one of those full polymer metals guns that are out there?
That's it, yeah. It's when you go and play on the next map, it's amazing. It goes through over the other side of the map,
Yeah.
And you can no-scope people with it, right?
No, it's 360
100% 360.
No scope, 360 no scope.
Wow.
Get it right.
Mate, every day's a learning day.
Every day's an operating day.
You're talking to guys who resorted to flip-flops rather than lasers. Oh dear.
But no. It's everyone's got different needs and different expectations as to what a sniper rifle is going to do. And I'm not going to.
I think some of them have got special needs when it comes to that.
There's all sorts. Yeah.
If you're looking, I still go with the facts. If you're looking to snipe for the first time, get yourself the Mark 23 non-blowback pistol, because if you can get your head into the gameplay of the stalking, the stealth, the sneaking aspect, you'll still get the same shots. You can put 30-50 pounds of upgrades in your Mark 23 and get very good results. And if you like that play style, then go spend 200, 300, 400, 500, 600 quid on a sniper rifle, because at least you're going to be more.
Again, another.
I think the game style changes people more than
23 kit. It's all done for you. It's delivered to your door. All you have to do is adjust the hop to whatever the weight BBs we give you, like 4 3s or 4 5s, and then you go out and you just play. And they're quiet. They work every time. You're not going to get any real issues because there's no real moving parts apart from the trigger and the trigger mechanism. You've not got a slide kicking back.
More people fall out of love with the gameplay and the game style rather than the rifle. That's the issue. If you can get your head in and enjoy the gameplay and the game style, and the fact that you are outgunned, even the fact you run with that pistol, you're outgunned in terms of you haven't got the same amount of BBs flying out as you've got coming in. But yeah, that's definitely got to be one of the cheapest, if not the cheapest way of getting into it.
Yeah, it's not very long.
Let's talk about the upcoming events coming up, because I know Jason's at one of them and Sarah is at one of them. We have 2 events coming up. One of them this weekend, which I know I'm the only one going, so I will keep this relatively short. It is the Northern Shooting Show over in Harrogate this weekend. So that's the 12th and 13th. 11th and 12th. There we go. Over in North Yorkshire. Now, these guys have been running events for 4 years now, and the airsoft side is starting to pick up. We are starting to see the free gun competition and airsoft exhibits and stands turning up there. And then just 3 weeks later, we had the Midland Airsoft Fair, which Sarah will be going.
I will be, yes.
Jason's got a stand.
Yeah.
And again, this is for if you've never been to the Midland Airsoft Fair, it used to be the boot fair in the Jowl, Midland Airsoft Boot Fair, and now it's the Midland Airsoft Fair. So they've actually got an exhibition hall. We've got a lot more stands, a lot more traders, and it is still your second-hand sales. My question for you guys are we going to see more of these kind of airsoft, I want to say conventions or airsoft events outside of games? We've got the weekend away events where you may go to a weekend at your local site, or you may go to a national airsoft festival, but we don't have a lot of airsoft events, where we see a lot of this stuff turn up. What's everyone thinking of that? Is it something that we're going to see, or is it something that's not necessary?
I think it's a trend that's come over from America, really, because you've got SHOT Show, which is a trade show, but I've seen that they have lots of little mini second-hand markets popping up here and there, and I know they've had one. Evike has a big one, don't they? I think the convention that they have.
Airsoft Con, yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's a trend that's come over from there, and I think it would be good to have one here that is further down south, and maybe one they have for a southern, airsoft fair as well as a Midlands one. It would be good to sort of see it all over the UK in the way that America does it.
Yeah, I will say I think Airsoft Con is at Evike particularly, and I think people travel crazy amount of hours, whereas here in the UK we're kind of like, if it's an hour and a half, I don't know if I want to go.
Yeah.
It's raining outside. I don't know if I want to go.
Yeah, well, it's British weather. It could hail at any time. You could think you're going out in the sun. And it's like, for me, going to here on the Sunday, I'm going to have to leave my house at 3:30 to get there at 8:30, which is when it opens. Its doors shut at 4. So it's more of a case of wanting to get in and out from the start. But
it's Harrogate, isn't it?
Yeah, Harrogate, yeah. Yeah, Jim, what's your thoughts? Someone who's in retail.
Well, it's a tricky one because one, I think it's too expensive. From like a really practical standpoint, we only have one or two like big players in airsoft in the based in the UK. So take someone like Neutral. They would be probably the people to kind of be at the centre of that.
Yeah.
I think they've got the clout to do it. The rest will all become retailers. And what normally happens with these things, and Jason can probably attest to this as well, is that all the retailers all turn up and then they will just start cutting each other's throats on prices, which is great for the end user, but it's terrible for the industry because it just devalues products and turns everything into a race to the bottom in terms of price. No one makes any money, so you end up spending hundreds, if not thousands of pounds on a stand just to come away and go, oh, that cost me money to do that. And they become quite futile. I think if we have more manufacturing or bigger distribution of brands in the UK, it would be worthwhile doing. But until that happens, I can't see it being much more than things like, the Invicta Big Weekender, where it's, reps from companies come down and have a stand. And Jason did that one with me last year. And then you get I think there's one just been over in Ireland last weekend. Yeah. And
so that's when the reps turn up to us. Reps will come to a site and set up there. A retailer's generally on the site providing all the shopping facilities, and it's more about brand awareness for the manufacturer.
And retailer support, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's tricky. I've done the British Shooting Show before with Airsoft, and it just never... the other problem is that where we've got the whole, airsoft defence system in place, we won't go into the details of that, but that makes it really difficult for retailers to make any money as well, because you've got to make sure that if, say, there was 1,000 people, I would probably say of that 1,000 people, less than 500 of them would actually have a defence. The majority of the people at things like the British Shooting Show or Northern Shooting Show, it's you're hitting a really, really niche market. It's the same.
They've got firearms licenses, but they can't buy airsoft guns.
Exactly. And that was one of the things that we found. And I did the British Shooting Show this year, but with Scott Country, who are going to be at the Northern Shooting Show. And they've got a wicked laser system that anyone that's interested in airsoft training, like we were talking about last week, needs to check out, because that thing is insane.
I'm going to look at it.
Yeah, we'll talk to Paul. He'll show you how good that thing is, and hopefully we might one day get a chance to play with it here on the show. That costs a lot of money to do those sorts of things, and if there's not enough of a return, I can't see it happening. Yeah, exactly. And it's great to get loads of people there and have giveaways and all that sort of stuff. And I'm sure Evike, it's not cheap for them to do, but it's all about raising their brand, and to have that happen outside their store, which happens most of the time. It's a big event, and that's got to be great for them, but they're not having to rent out like the O2 Arena or, the NEC at Birmingham to...
No, it's almost, I think it's like their car park. Their place is so big. It looks like it's just outside the building. And again, over in the States, they are the monopoly. They are the big guy over there. They don't rely on anyone else's support. They're saying, right, we're hosting the Airsoft Con. Are you turning up to the players?
So what did you say?
I was slipping there.
Well, I'd never call it the Airsoft Con either, because there are enough cons in Airsoft. You don't need any more of them.
So, Jason, what's your thoughts? Because you offer something different as some of what we've spoken about before in terms of going to these events.
For me personally and my company, it's great because we don't have a shop. It's purely because I don't want to be tied down to a shop. It's extra expense and just something that I'm not looking to do at the minute. But it does mean it gives us a platform to go and meet people face to face, and people can also see stuff. So, like, for example, you're talking about like the Sprinter Custom Ghillie with the prices, etc. Yeah, they're high, and the pictures don't ever really translate what that quality means until you actually can see it and feel it and pick it up and everything else. And that's what it's going to enable us to do. So, and the same things like we can show off parts. So, for example, we're talking about the lightweight. We've actually got a lightweight that we've bought for. It's not for me to use, unfortunately, but it's for for Longbow to take these things. So we're going to take it up there and show it off, and people can see what Silverback are doing, etc. So again,
can we slam fire it over and over and over again?
Oh, you're not going to get near it. It'll be
come on, every airsofter. We just need to cock it and shoot it 5 times.
Not so much.
It's going to be boxed. The bolt's going to be locked down.
It's going to be. I'll run a car battery through it if someone wants to pick it up. Because it's going to
right.
But it's it gives us great platforms. But also it's good to meet people face to face. I mean, the thing is, you can text people all day long, but we all know that text can be written with one intent and read with about 5 different other intents. So
There's also another difference in the fact that you have more exclusive products and a smaller line of products that go out, whereas like Platoon, for example, the Vipers, the ASGs and New Pros, that's stuff that a lot of people have access to, and putting 30 retailers in a room, for example, the modifiers.
The same stuff,
Yeah, the modifiers, there's only a certain amount of people, so you can go, right, well, these guys are modify, or these guys are SRS guys and they know their stuff. And that's nothing to take away from Platoon. Like, oh, you don't know your stuff, but
there's a lot. Sorry.
But it's more of a case like there's a lot of people that will sell Viper or sell New Pro, and it's hard to stand out. Like Jim's saying, it's like every retailer will start cutting prices to beat the next guy. Unfortunately, that is just business. Unless you can stand out with that.
I hate it when people they basically do a dick thing. And then they hide behind this whole side of, it's business. Business is business. And you just think, come on,
is it ethical business?
Yeah. Yeah, at the end of the day, there's a big enough marketplace for us all to kind of sit in quietly and, get on. So why does someone have to attack someone else for no good reason apart from just to be a dick and make some noise? Try and up their profile, whatever else. It just really kind of, gets my goat.
So, without sort of diving into business too much, I think that's one of those things. It's a mindset with how people run businesses as well, because it's like their objective is to win and beat the competition, and it's like business you don't win at. It takes forever just to feel good about it. Let alone I'm making money and it's successful.
This is it. I mean, this is going back to it as well. We say about with the cost and everything else. There really isn't that much money to be made in airsoft. There really isn't. It's you think everything has to be pretty much imported, and when it comes in, you've got the cost of the freight, the cost of the import, blah 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 blah. It all stacks up, and then of course
cost of putting it on your website.
Cost of putting it on your website, and then when you sell it, guess what? That man takes 20% straight off. So yay! It's just not going to be. So I'm just going to get my recharging cable. It's just not. That as possible, and it's I mean, I do it pretty much because I've done 20 years in the city and I'm not going up there again. I hate it. I'm not doing it again, and this is what I'm doing, a job that I love doing, so that's why I'm going to carry on. But as for, like you say, when it comes to the people that are very negative and they just want to win, and they want to win no matter what, they'd sell their own mother if they think it's further themselves. All I do is block them, ignore them, carry on. Don't even get involved with them. Not worth it. Not worth the time, the patience, the effort. It's just, that's why I deal with Platoon, because they're so nice.
Oh, I dislike you thoroughly. No, I'm joking.
Yeah,
you never phone up and talk to me anymore.
So I'll throw this out to you. Trying to think the best way to phrase it, because all I can think of at the moment is like, if we say Airsoft Con in terms of the kind of the conference feel of it, the biggest thing we've really got then is National Airsoft Festival, where the community can come together. All the products are pretty much going to be there, but it is again all controlled under monopoly. Like they're almost like the e-bike of these big events.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like,
no, absolutely no.
Just to be clear, that's like that is cool, but I think the idea of getting everyone on the same playing field, it'd be like everyone agreeing on whether the ASG Mark 23 or the TM Mark 23 is better. It's that same
simple answer, really.
Same.
Clearly, it's the STTI.
Put your answers on a postcard too. There's probably some kid going, "What's a postcard? How do you email that?" That's my granddad moment for this week, guys.
So we don't think there'll be an Airsoft Con or an Airsoft Expo in the future. Is this something that we, as an industry, will be hard? Do you think it'll be more of a regional event or a site community in the local area that'll be the only way going forward? Because we've had the showcases, and the showcases didn't work.
That America has. We just don't have the numbers. I mean, the thing is, like you say, they'll travel for hours. Like what we consider just ridiculousness, in the distance that they'll go, and they'll do that. And then they've also got the space and the land to have these big places. Yeah, we've got like Birmingham and EC if you really want a massive place, and the only one that I can think of off the top of my head. But then it's still the cost.
XL, Birmingham.
Yeah, and how much are they going to cost? And how much is it going to cost to get a plot up in there if someone's rented out the entire site for a weekend or 3 or 4 days or whatever? It's just we just don't have the numbers, and until it grows, and it will grow, I'm very confident it will. But until it does, I think the things like the Airsoft Fair is basically the way forwards, and that's going to build up to that eventually. Because, like you say, he's already started in the jail, and he's now gone up to the where is it again?
Newark Showgrounds.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good job, Sarah. I was thinking I can't remember what showground it was at.
So yeah, and it's it's already grown to that. So it's just a slow burn.
What about combining airsoft with real steel shooters, like the British Shooting Show, the Northern Shooting Show? Now, obviously, putting the defence aside, because I know that's always going to be an issue. We'll never get around that. Is there enough after that for airsofters to mix in with these other shooting communities, or is it a case that a lot of airsofters don't want to see that stuff and there's never going to be enough, or the two communities together in numbers won't work?
It's too much ego in real steel shooting when they look down at airsoft, and we know that from when you go to the IWA. If they see you've got an airsoft brand on your t-shirt or your cap or your jacket, then you're basically they look. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them look at you as in a way as if you're just pulled your kicks down and started doing a dump on the middle of their stand. It's the thing is it's kind of ironic because a lot of airsofters now they're moving over to the more real steel stuff to put on their wrists and stuff. So like vortex scopes and things like this, or if you've got the rowels and the sights and everything else, or some people put the real steel suppressors on their guns. I don't know why.
And seeing people like Glock come over and start actually licensing their stuff out. We're seeing some of the big names.
But I think
the thing is, sorry,
I was going to say, having straddled that line between the firearms world and the airsoft, the biggest difference comes in the fact that you talk to anyone that's involved in the firearms industry, what they hate about airsoft isn't anything to do with the guns. It's to do with the discipline side of it. They teach people not to point guns at people, and we do the complete opposite. So I think that's where that real kind of look down, or they treat it like as if it's something childish, because it poses an argument to what they do in terms of they don't want to see people using those bad disciplines and getting confused, and that's when accidents are going to happen. And on the one hand, I'm all for it. On the other hand, I think you've got to also relax your sphincters a little bit.
I agree. It's kind of, you need to calm down a bit as well, because these people, in the UK, I mean, I've not been real steel shooting. I know that Platoon, they do a lot of the real steel stuff as well. But I think it's a lot more restricted over here. And a lot of people just think, well, there's not really much you can do. So I'll go and play airsoft, because then I can actually shoot at another person and not kill them. So...
I mean, it's weird because, I mean, we talked about training, again last week, that there's so much you can do with airsoft guns for training for firearms that is interesting and has got a lot of potential to it. But again, that culture, that gun culture doesn't exist over here like it does in the States. And, exactly. Like at SHOT Show, they're like, what the fuck's airsoft? It's so small there. It's tiny in comparison. I mean, like IWA, the split's a little bit bigger, but it's, I think in the States, airsoft is probably growing at a much different rate than it ever will over here.
Yeah, it's, as I say, but the thing is, with, like I say, like over there, they've got the big culture of the real steel shooting, and then that kind of pieces down into airsoft, because they can then go and have a laugh with their mates and shoot their mates and everything else, and come back and all happy, joy. But with the real steel stuff, you go down a range, you shoot, and it's all serious because obviously these things are big boys' toys, and you've got a lot of discipline to go with them. Well, you'd expect they would anyway.
But I don't think it's wrong to try and bring some of that discipline into airsoft because, again, we talked about last week the kid that got hurt and his parents are suing the site that it was at. Could you argue
that got shot in the eye?
Yeah. It's like could you argue that if there had been more range-like practice, in terms of protocols and what have you, would that have happened? So it's a tricky one. But again, it's like trying to get people to agree on any of these things, which is why I think if you get all those people into one big auditorium, there'll be an us and them, and it'll just, it will descend into madness, and then,
throwing a final curveball on this one, thrown out by Matthew Ball here. Out of curiosity, could Airsoft not piggyback on paintball to eventually get his own expo or something like that? Now, there's one where we both
1 week without mentioning paintball.
Well, I say, Matthew, I've got your address. I know where you live.
We both have the same discipline. We shoot each other. We both got the very similar age communities. And we both probably suffer the same situations in terms of distribution, at least in the UK, of products. Could that work? Wow, could that align two forces? It's almost like Jedi versus.
It would be the same situation as it is with real steel and airsoft, whereas where the guys that kind of look down on paintball would take the piss out of them. So we'd be just like, oh no, I don't think it would work because it would be like the same situation. So no, I don't think it could. I think airsoft is completely different to paintball, and I never play paintball myself, but I don't want to. Airsoft is better.
It's paintball. I think the one thing that comes back to me when we used to go to like stag do's and friends' birthdays and stuff is just the sheer cost of the ammo. You think, oh, I've got 100 paintballs here, brilliant. That'll last me at least 2 games, 10 minutes in. You think, oh yeah, brilliant, great. That's another 30, 40 quid down in just like paintballs for me to go and waste and not hit someone else with. We're
probably going back probably like 18 years ago. I went paintball before airsoft with my dad, and he took me and my brother, and he thought, great guys, dad and his sons to play paintball, and we all had 200 paintballs each. And about 6 minutes into the first game, I was like, I need more paintballs. And that's the sheer horror on his face, as this is what the rest of the day is going to become of me buying hundreds and hundreds of paintballs. Sure, we wrapped up at lunchtime and went out for McDonald's.
Could you imagine like being at a paintball airsoft event like that, and literally on one half of the site you've got airsoft, and the other half you've got paintball, and then when people realise how much paintball costs, everyone will be over on the airsoft side of it, and all these paintball companies will be like, what happened? And then you've got people like Titman and Valken in the middle that are like, we do both. And then
you've got Paint Fest, haven't you? Paint Fest has now got Airfest. So Paint Fest was a paintball weekend somewhere, I wouldn't say somewhere in the Midlands, but they've actually been starting doing more airsoft. And so, for example, you'll have the Valken stand, and half of their stand is airsoft, the other half is paintball. So we are starting to see a few events with both communities there. I do know from the airsoft side there isn't a huge turnout right now. But Matthew, it's a really good point. Who knows? I mean, it depends on what the future of paintball is. I'm hearing that some people say there's a resurgence of paintball, but at the same time, the numbers don't seem to show it for sure. The competition paintball is still out there, but those people aren't skirmishing and playing on the weekends. It's an interesting idea for sure. Now, just wrapping up here, Jason, Midland Airsoft Fair, you are there. What are you bringing, and what are we announcing?
I'm going to bring a big sniper rifle for Jim. and
which will reach from Midlands.
No, I'm going to be bringing, obviously we're going to have the SRS lightweight. We're going to hopefully have the SRS rifles in. we're obviously going to have BBs, Sprinter Custom ghillie stuff. So the ghillies, all the other bits we do for them as well. So the words have escaped me. These things, slings. That's it. We're going to have as much as I can bring. We'll bring down. I don't think we can bring the GBLS down with us. I just can't see too many people turn up to the Midlands Airsoft Fair wanting to spend close to 1,600 quid on an AG with all the bits and bobs that come with that. Yeah, as much as I can get in the car, to be honest. We're going to just pack it out and get up there. And obviously we've got the prizes as well. Oh, we've got the Modify XTCs, if people want to have a look at that. We're going to have those in as well. We're going to have the G1, the CQB, and the PDW. So people can see the differences between those.
Oh, I'm going to come and have a look at the G1, since I've still not seen the G1.
It's
nice. Yeah, we'll have it down there.
Very nice. And obviously we are doing a giveaway for a Modify XTC.
Yes, the PDW, yeah.
For the PDW, yep. And in addition to that, you also put in a Sprinter Custom ghillie. I want to say it was top half. Yeah,
it's Sprinter Custom ghillie. Actually, we approached them and said, look, we're not doing a giveaway. Is there anything, expecting like a rifle wrap or something? And he came along with a next-gen Viper ghillie. So it's kind of the hood, the shoulder piece, and then you've got obviously your arms. And it's also got a cape on the back that you can take off, or you can put on, take off as you like. And he's basically very kindly given that to us. I mean, it's about 280 quid ghillie that he has just thrown into the thing for us. And the other prize we're bringing is a TM Glock 26 Advance.
And in addition to that, I will be giving away the King Arms Peacemaker, which is the revolver. There we go. The revolver behind me, which is actually being reviewed this week. So that will be in there as well. And in addition to that, a Code Red Battle Zero headset. And I still have a few more prizes to come up. Now, you don't need to necessarily attend the event for it, but if you attend the event, you do get a chance to pick it up if you are the winner. And we'll be doing the live draw there. So hopefully we shall see you there. Just to confirm the date on that one. Just quickly.
2nd of June?
2nd of June, yeah. I was thinking 3rd, 2nd of June at the Midlands Airsoft Fair.
Yes.
So, hopefully I'll see some of the people here who are in the comment section over at the Midlands Airsoft Fair. Right. Any last words? Jim, what are you up to this week?
What's this? I don't know. I'm something.
It's Monday.
It is Monday. I am... Yeah.
Gonna get some sleep?
I'll be about.
What site are you at this weekend? Reaper Ops. There we go.
Reaper Ops. That's on Sunday. The rest of the time, I will be supporting single mums in strip clubs.
Now Kirsty's got something different I didn't know about.
It's in the comments section.
Hate mail that way.
I'm just doing my bit. Those kids, need an education, and
Sarah, moving on. What are you up to this week? Are you playing at the weekend?
I am not, actually. I'm off on my hollybobs.
Oh,
so yes, so I'll be going down to Brighton. So I'll be getting chased by more seagulls with Fish and Jim. So yeah, I won't be around for. No, I won't be around for next week's show.
For your birthday?
It is, yes. It's my birthday on the 14th. So yes.
We'll have a great time away. So yes, you will not be around on next week's show. So I'll have to get a cutout stand in.
Lovely.
We'll have a fantastic time. Jason, what are you up to this week?
I'm going to the Reaper Ops on Sunday as well.
Shooting me.
Yeah, purely just for that. I'm not actually going down this play. It's just for that. So, Jim, wear your iPro in the car park. You need it.
I've seen the way you shoot.
Full on SRS.
Spring to mind.
Some people bring tents when they camp. Jason sits in the back of his car and he just puts the boot up.
I've actually been accused of full auto in my SRS before, so that was quite a special moment for me.
Wow, that's impressive.
But yeah, no, down there on Sunday, Saturday, just charging batteries and doing all the other stuff you tend to do on the day before you go airsoft.
Or the morning. Well, this week I will be at the Northern Shooting Show on Sunday, which is let me get the date again. It is the 12th. So I'll be there on the 12th. This week I will be re-releasing the XTC review. There will be the Mastermind review and the XTC review on the website. And I do have the Peacemaker review, and it's something a little bit different this week, which we'll see how that review goes. These guys all kind of know. Yeah, these guys know what I did for the review. Let's just say I did the video on the Saturday and decided I could not risk playing on the Sunday, so my Sunday game got cancelled. But that will be coming out.
Motherfucker. That's all I have to say.
That'll be coming out.
Me. I'm like, no.
Yeah. Well, I figure it's going to be an Airsoft Radio next week special. So each week we'll try
it's special, right?
So yes, look out for that on Thursday. I'm sure it'll be funny, and it sure was an experience. One I have a feeling I'm going to be repeating it time and time again. That is about.
Definitely going to repeat.
Well, that's about it for this week on Airsoft Radio. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have enjoyed the show, don't forget to give us a like and a follow. If you're listening on the podcast platform, whether it is iTunes or your choice on Android, please give us a subscribe and don't forget to give us a review. 5 stars are really appreciated, and we will be reading out the reviews on future shows. Thank you, Jason, once again, for joining us. And, of course, all the listeners tuning in, we will see you next week, but Sarah won't, so have a great birthday.
Thank you.
But we'll see you next week.
Bye.